Last spring, it was announced by Warner Brothers that they're going to be releasing another Lord of the Rings movie. This one, it's also produced by Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, the same team behind the original Lord of the Rings movies. But this time, instead of Peter Jackson directing it, we're going to get Andy Serkis directing it, who will also be playing the part of Gollum. And this movie is going to be following the little portion of the appendices, The Hunt for Gollum. There's not a whole lot in there, but some of the principal characters within this story are Gollum, Gandalf, and Aragorn. So Andy Serkis returning to the role of Gollum. And now we're getting news that it's looking like Ian McKellen might be returning to the role of Gandalf. This coming from Variety. Ian McKellen is open to returning as Gandalf in new Lord of the Rings movie, but warns filmmakers they better be quick. Jumping down into this article, will the next cinematic installment of Tolkien's fantasy series be titled The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the Wizard? That's pretty cringe right there. It may well be if the filmmakers succeed in conjuring up Ian McKellen as Gandalf again. McKellen, who played the beloved Grey Pilgrim in the first 3 films, as well as the subsequent Hobbit movies, has revealed there is already magic at work behind the scenes to bring him back. I've just been told they are going to do more films and Gandalf will be involved, and they hope that I'll be playing him, McKellen told British magazine The Big Issue. When? I don't know what the script is. It's not written yet, so they better be quick. And what he's talking about is the Hunt for Gollum movie, because in that portion of the appendices, which it's based off of, the principal characters are Gandalf, Gollum, and Aragorn. And there's not a whole lot to go off of now. And for a lot of people who only watch the movies and haven't read any of the books or haven't read the appendices, they don't necessarily know what's actually transpiring during this time frame, because a lot of people are under the impression, if you just go by the movies, it kind of gives the idea that after Frodo got the ring from Bilbo, that he set out to destroy it maybe like a couple weeks, a month or so later. But in the books, it was quite a few years later after Frodo got a hold of the ring that he actually set out to destroy it. I got the appendices pulled up here. You can see this in the year 3002. Bilbo becomes a guest of Elrond and settles in Rivendell. So that was after Bilbo's birthday, where he leaves the Shire and gave the ring to Frodo. And then this is the year where Frodo actually set out to destroy the ring, the year 3018. So 16 years after Frodo got the ring. And during this time frame, Gandalf had his suspicions about the ring itself. So he wanted to get a hold of Gollum because he knows that Bilbo got the ring from Gollum, so he wants to see what Gollum knows about it. But then Gollum got captured in Mordor and he was tortured. So then after he was released from Mordor, Gandalf wanted to get a hold of Gollum again and figure out, like, what did he actually tell him? And that's how in the movies that Gandalf knows that Bilbo told Sauron where the ring was, and it was in the Shire. You see a little bit of that, but they don't really go into a whole lot of detail. But this movie that they're going to be making will be about Gandalf or tasking Aragorn to actually get a hold of Gollum and finding him, so he can figure out what's the deal with the ring and what he actually told Sauron about the ring itself. But other than that, this pretty much just these 2 paragraphs right here is the whole story that they're trying to go off of. So there's not a whole lot there, but it does make sense that they would try to bring back Ian McKellen for it, because again, I mean, he's one of the principal characters within this story. So I can see why they would try to bring him back. But Ian McKellen, he's saying that they better be quick, just for the simple fact that he's pretty old right now. I think he's in his 80s. So basically he's like, you better be quick about it, because I'm not getting any younger. Earlier this year, Warner Brothers confirmed the first new film in the series was set to be released in 2026, and that it would focus on Gollum, played by Andy Serkis in the original films. The working title is currently The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. The film's original director, Peter Jackson, will produce. Okay, we already went through that. McKellen, okay, he's 85 years old, recently suffered significant physical harm, including a chipped vertebrae, after falling during a stage performance of Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 1 and 2 in the UK. The accident earlier this summer in London's Noah Coward Theatre forced the actor to cut short his run as buffoonish kingly companion Falstaff, with only the fat suit he was wearing preventing him from being more seriously injured after he tripped on stage and fell into the audience. And this is what he says following that. I'm left feeling weak physically, which I'm doing exercises for, McKellen said of the accident. And of course, it's emotional. We all trip all our lives. It's just when you get to my age, you can't always get up again. So there is an issue with his physicality, but he does feel like he could do it as long as they're actually sticking to this time frame. If they want to release it in 2026, then he probably should be able to actually play the role. And I don't think the age difference will be that severe because the Hobbit movies came out 10 years ago. And while he was noticeably older than he was in the original movies that came out 20 years ago, I still think the age difference is really that severe, especially when you consider that he's going to have the wig and makeup and beard and other stuff like that. So I think it should be fine for him to be in it. My biggest thing though is what are they going to do about Aragorn though? Because there's no word about who are they going to play Aragorn, or if it's going to be about Aragorn, or if they're going to change it up a little bit. Because some people are also speculating, well, is Viggo Mortensen going to come back to play the part of Aragorn? Because even though he's also older, like I said, I don't think it would be as prominent when it comes to Ian McKellen playing Gandalf, because he already started off as an old man and he just looks like an old man again. Viggo Mortensen, on the other hand, since he was significantly younger when he started in the movies 20 years ago, I think he's 65 now. Will it make much of a difference to have him noticeably older, or will it be fine? Because I did find this picture of him. This is from a recent movie and this is him back then. Yeah, he is noticeably older, but I don't think it'll really be as severe, especially with these type of roles where he has the wig on and he has the beard and other things like that. So I think he could play the part again if they wanted to actually bring him back. But if they wanted to do something different where they have Gandalf working with another ranger to track down Gollum, I really wouldn't object to that either. I think that would be a better choice than having a recast for Aragorn. So let me know what you think in the comment section below about this. Do you think it would be better to actually just recast these roles for someone else? Or do you think it'd be better to actually change the character? Or would you actually like to see Ian McKellen and Viggo Mortensen coming back into their roles that they made famous 20 years ago? Comment below and let me know. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share the video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.